שמונה, אני יודע, 8 ימי מילה, 7 ימי שבתא, 6 סדרי משנה, 5 חודשי תורה, 4 אמהות, 3.
Well, big guys, we got a great show tonight. We got a great friend of mine, Eric Holtz, who I've known for many, many years, who is by far one of the best coaches I have ever seen. And this guy should be up in the close to the big leagues. I don't know if all these guys would tell you that he should be up in the big leagues, but this guy is a hell of a coach. That's number one. Number two, we're trying to sing the Jewish national anthem, but we forgot the words. And so what I like to do now is let Eric introduce his compadres. And these guys are the real deal. These guys are going to make your world very, very proud. Eric, introduce your guys. Tell them what you do. Tell them about Team Israel. Tell them about the everything about the Israeli baseball.
Everything about Israel baseball. All right. Well, Ron, first of all, Ron, Lenny, and Joe, thanks for having us. Real happy to be with you guys tonight. I got 3 special young men with me. First off is a lefty pitcher, Jeremy Bleich, Danny Valencia, and Ryan Lavarnway. All 3 of these guys are ex-big leaguers. Ryan is still, potentially going to have a job this year, so we're keeping our fingers crossed for him. Danny is had an incredible career and is doing some incredible things to stay in shape and help us get not just to the Olympics, but a medal when we go out to Tokyo this coming summer. Jeremy Bleich was a first-round pick for the Yankees and spent a bunch of time, up and down the minor leagues and fought through a whole bunch of arm injuries and some issues. And today, again, is one of the most knowledgeable, not only pitchers, but he's taken his acumen and knowledge and is now working with the Pittsburgh Pirates and traveling with the team working analytics. So got 3 special young men here, and we're just excited to be here, Ronnie.
Well, let me tell you something. I talked to Cash a lot about analytics, and I followed. I knew when Jeremy, when you got drafted number 1 by the Yankees, I got drafted number 1 by the Yankees in '67, and I'm about 40 years older than you are. Okay. So, I followed you. I knew about you. Mark Newman talked a lot about you. Eric was down in fantasy camp, and he saw a lot of the guys work out on the minor league field back at Heinz Field. So Mark had nothing but great things, and Billy Connors had great things to say about you also. I just want to let you know that. Danny, I spoke to Jim Morris. I knew that you were going to be on here. I spoke to Jimmy about 2 weeks ago, and he told me to tell you hello. And he said, you're a superstar. And, you're Mr. Everything down in at the University of Miami. And Ryan, I followed you a little bit. One of my one of the managers who were with the Atlanta Braves for many, many years, Bobby Cox, was my roommate at Syracuse. So I followed you, and, congratulations on your career, because it looks like you might get another big league offer. You're a heck of a catcher, and they need catchers. And I wish the Yankees would come and get you, because they need somebody real quick, and they give you an opportunity. And so, Eric, talk about your everything that's coming up, about the Israeli baseball, about the World Series, about getting the medal, about in 2017, how close you were, how it's a miracle dream. It's something that very special to my heart, being Jewish, and I'm proud, and I know all of y'all are very, very proud to be Jewish, and we had an opportunity to to do something what we wanted to do, and we're proud of our religion. And as long as we could do something for the Jews and to make a name for ourselves, we did that in 2007, Eric. But we got flooded out. We got bankrupt out. And but at least you got these people in a good mold, and these guys going to carry us and make us very, very proud.
So, you know, first and foremost, Ryan, I'm going to tell you that one of the biggest attractions for me, and especially about these young men here, they are not just baseball players. They are fine young men. They are intelligent young men. They are all well educated. Jeremy went to Stanford, Ryan, Yale, and Danny, Miami. These are not just athletes that didn't care about academics in school. And, you know, more than not, that's kind of what our team is made up of. It's a cerebral bunch. So, you know, yes, as much as I may not agree with all the analytics part of baseball today, because it's way above your and my pay grade and well beyond, you know, our time in coaching, it's become a big part of it. So these are just great young, well-rounded young men, and that's what we prided ourselves with putting together. In 2007, for the people that don't know, Ron and I spent some time together in Israel for the one and only Israel Baseball League. Our team won the championship that year. Several years later, 10 years later, Peter Kurz had been working on putting together this phenomenal team to go to the World Baseball Classic in 2017, and they shocked the world. And I think what happened at that point was we got a lot of these guys, these athletes, interested in potentially having an opportunity to play for Israel, represent Israel, and have a shot to make a run at the Olympics. Now, in 2017, people equated that to the Jamaican bobsled team, because Israel just didn't belong in the top, you know, discussions as far as international baseball went. And I really challenged Peter Kurz, and I said, you got to figure out how we can get these guys to Israel to become Israeli citizens so that they can do this without having to move to Israel. Every one of these guys took the time, made the effort, filled out all the paperwork, spent time in Israel, did a bunch of clinics with the kids. And in 2007, we made a hell of a run, and we went 6-0 in Bulgaria, beating some great baseball teams, including Russia twice, and Russia in the championship. We went to Lithuania, where we won 2 in a row. We then went to Germany, where the top 5 teams out of 12 would make it to the Olympic qualifier in Italy. And we started out 4-0, and then we lost to the Netherlands, Italy, and Spain, and we kind of limped into Italy for the Olympic qualifier. But the first 3 games that we had in Italy was against the 3 teams that beat us, and all we did was beat them 3 games in a row. We then, you know, as history has it, we took care of what we needed to do, and you know, we beat South Africa in Italy. Danny hit a 3-run home run in the 8th inning to enforce the mercy rule, and we basically walked off and finished up South Africa. And we were actually the first team, believe it or not, to qualify for the Olympic Games, which is, you know, postponed obviously because of COVID. But you know, here we sit ready to go, and we've added Varney and we've added Ian Kinsler, and we got some baseball players that you know, this is no more Jamaican bobsled. We expect to go there and compete and do some stuff and represent Israel with the type of you know, respect that it deserves.
You know, people don't realize what it really takes from an athlete to be a coach. Myself, I could not coach. You know, I could not manage. I don't remember people's names. Let's just be honest. I knew how to play baseball. That's only thing I knew. Talk about analytics to Jeremy. Cashman came up to me about 12 years ago and asked me, would I be interested in being a hitting coach? He asked me, how do I teach hitting? I see the ball, I swing, I hit it. That's the only way I know how to do it. I don't know how to do a computer. My daughter has to put all this stuff together for me. I still got my flip phone, like you saw in Israel. I still got my calculator, and I still got my rotary phone. That's all I have. But it takes a certain person. Wait. It takes a certain person. And when I managed in Israel, my manager was really Eric. He was a guy that knew everything about baseball, about how to play, how to bring in the pitchers. I was just there manually. That's all I was. But it takes a certain person to be able to get ex-major leaguers and to listen to you. That's not easy to do. And what you did with our team in Israel was incredible. And what you're doing with these guys now, they're not just good baseball players, they're very intelligent. It's 75% ability and 25%. Well, it's 75% brains and 25% ability.
Well,
but these guys, they know how to play.
I want them to talk a little bit, but for me, and I say this and I mean this, and I'm not by any stretch demoralizing myself here, but I also know what I got. And my job is not to get in Danny's way and talk to Danny if he has a bad game about his hitting. That's just not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm here for. And if Jeremy misses a couple spots, I'm not going to get into his ass for it because he knows what he's doing. And I haven't had the opportunity to coach Varney yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So my job is kind of like Joe Torre in 1996. I might look as handsome as I do, and I just stay out of their way, Ronnie. That's the key to the success of this team.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more than that, and it's more than that. It's they respect you, and if they don't respect you, you're not going to win. And Ryan's, being new, you get Jeremy and you get Danny. You get two real good major leaguers who's been playing for many, many years, and they come from great pedigree. But you got to have something. You got to have something, and it means an awful lot to have. Even if you just sat there, even if you like Don Zimmer. Joe Torre. Joe Torre would just sit there, and Don Zimmer would be rocking back and forth like Mazzoni, and he's a guy that runs the team, and Joe would just be sitting there. But they got to respect you.
At the end of the day, I think they respect me, but they also know that I love them. And these kids, These kids have become like sons to me. I mean, you can ask them here straight out.
Sure.
Barney, not as much, but Danny, Jeremy, and I, probably a week doesn't go by without a text or a FaceTime or a message, just checking in to say hello, and it's really become just one big happy family, Ron.
It's good. We're the chosen people, so you got to keep them there. You got to keep them. But it's nice. Let the guys talk about what they do. They got all great careers. It's wonderful. And to me, I'm living a dream world, even though that I played a lot of years before them. And being Jewish, and these guys are a role model for me to watch them play and to be very, very proud. And and you see this because the only Jew that when I basically was playing with Sandy Koufax, and these guys are representing people like ourselves, and where we've been shut down for many, many years, now we're coming and making a mark, and these people are doing, and these players are doing. I'm very, very proud of them, and I know all the Jewish fans and people all around the world are very, very proud of them.
What I'd love them to do, Ron, because I know what they're doing, but I'd love them to tell you what a typical day is like, because these guys are working their butts off right now, and managing their lives and their jobs and families, and Jeremy's got a girlfriend, and I'm all excited about. And so go ahead, guys, take it away.
Jeremy, you're the analytical guy.
All right, here we go. Thanks for having me. I think my days are a little simpler than maybe you guys think, but right now things are pretty busy with me work-wise, getting ready for spring training. But I look forward to getting down to Florida and a little bit warmer weather, and I'll be able to really start throwing to hitters and playing catch. That's the beautiful part of my gig right now is the Pirates have been incredibly supportive of me in terms of chasing the Olympics and doing that part of my life, and also letting me pursue a career and helping our major league team with analytics. And I kind of have an interesting job. I know you referred to analytics as computers and whatnot, but I actually am able to be a bridge between our analytics department, so I understand what they do, and kind of be a liaison to our major league staff. So kind of translate the computers to baseball language and throw in my opinion along the way, which has been incredibly fun. I've learned a lot. I've actually had to learn a lot of computer stuff myself. So that's been challenging in some ways, but it's been really good to be challenged. And I'll get to go down to spring training Thursday, get all my COVID testing done. And as soon as that's done with, we'll have access to all the major league facilities and bullpen catchers, whatnot. And eventually once we start throwing live BPs, I'll kind of just fill right into the end of like a live BP session with all our other major league pitchers. So it's been a cool opportunity in a lot of ways. One of which is that I think beginning of spring training last year, guys thought I was just an analyst. And then all of a sudden at the end of one of these live sessions, I am in baseball pants and spikes running out to the mound. They're expecting 82 at the top of the zone, but actually, no, it's been good. It gives me some credibility when I approach them with an idea, right, to better their games. It allowed me some credibility in that aspect. But it's been a great opportunity. Obviously, Varney and I go back a long ways. Danny and I have gotten pretty close in the last year or so. In fact, Danny and I had lunch together in December in Florida. We were relaxing, having a good time. We said, why don't we FaceTime our Olympic manager, right? Well, we FaceTime him. He's working out. We're sitting back enjoying sushi. Yeah. I don't know how well that went over, but no, it's been great. It's the one thing I want to say about the Judaism aspect is a lot of us, have played professionally, been in a lot of clubhouses. And I think when you walk into these clubhouses, being, one of the token people in there who's Jewish, I think coming together and being in a clubhouse with other Jewish guys, there's like an automatic connection of, you don't have to explain where you're from or why you are the way you are, or who your parents are, or where they come from, or what their story is. There's kind of a baseline understanding. And so you eliminate all that 2-week period that it usually takes to learn people's background. But the beautiful part of it is that, yeah, we are all Jewish. We all have similar backgrounds, but yet we all have very individual stories, right? Our grandparents or our parents or whatever it may be. My father's parents are both Holocaust survivors. Like, those are things that I can share with these guys that they get it, right? I don't have to, it's just easier. It's just much more comfortable. But that's one of the things that I've appreciated most about being a part of Israel baseball and playing with these dudes. So I'll hand it over to Danny, and maybe we can get a little back and forth going once Varney decides to unmute himself, because I know he has a lot to offer as well.
What's going on, guys? Kind of like to piggyback what Jeremy said, it's what makes our team the most unique from other teams that I played on in the past, and is the fact that, the bus conversation is a lot different than what you'd expect. In baseball, when it's all you do for a living is just baseball, that's all you talk about. It's all you eat, breathe, sleep is baseball during major league seasons and minor league seasons. But on our squad, a lot of guys are already past their careers, and everybody's talking business and how to make money and life after baseball. It's a unique conversation. And that's what I think I like and I enjoy the most, is that type of camaraderie. I wouldn't be surprised if some of us went into business with our teammates or started up companies with each other, because it's a very brilliant, smart bunch of guys. To touch on what you were saying about Eric, about us respecting him, we absolutely do, but we love Eric. He always has our back, which is very nice. A lot of times when you play for the professional organizations, they're going to do what's best for the organization, not so much the player. And not that he won't do what's best for the organization here, but you definitely get a sense of him caring. And I think that's what really, makes it easy for all of us to want to go out there and play hard, for him in that sense. But this team has been a lot of fun to be a part of. I grew up in, look at this picture. My God, my passport picture, I'm in a tank top. That's how loose they are with they'll fire out a passport fast over there. What was I saying?
That picture was pretty distracting.
Ridiculous, dude. You're talking about
yeah, it's being a Jew in baseball. There's very few of us, so we do know who's around. I talk to Kinsler throughout the years, always, whenever we get on base or whatever, have simple chat about it. And a lot of guys here brings us together because there are so few of us. So it's cool to be part of this team. A lot of people don't take us serious. I think they certainly do now, knowing that we're playing the Olympics. I think they definitely thought we were for real to some degree after the WBC when, guys like Ryan and Jeremy played on that team. So it's exciting. Our goal is to win a gold medal. My days consist of me, being a dad full time with my wife. We don't have help, take them to and from school, try to be as involved parents as we can. I train pretty regularly. I know I inspire our manager, and it makes me proud to see that he's in shape just in case we get in a brawl with another team. I want to know that he may knock another coach out if we need be. And he's ready for that. Somebody from Japan starts talking shit.
I'm in, dude. I'm in. I got you back.
Fire one off.
Okay. That's okay. We got your back.
Throw a little two-piece out there. But other than that, it's an exciting time. Our team's going to be pretty good. We have some things in the works going on right now. But as you guys know, we're going to be ready to play. We're excited. It's an Olympic year, and I'm very fortunate to be able to be part of this with everybody here.
Go ahead, Varney. It's all you, kid.
Yeah, we're going to get in a fight at the Olympics. That's a celebration of good sportsmanship around the world. Yeah. Very nice, Danny.
Could be in the mini camp. You don't know.
Yeah, just us. No, I'm excited. I'm still hoping to hear from a team that I'm going to spring training in 8 days. So I feel like I'm waiting for someone to invite me to the prom. But I'm excited for that. While I've been waiting for a team to call me, I went ahead and got my mortgage license so I can hit the ground running with my second career whenever baseball is done. So if anyone needs a refinance, message me after the show. No, just kidding. I've been getting up at 6 a.m., going to the batting cage, hitting, doing catching drills before I go to work. And then, at the end of the day, I come home, and sometimes I do lessons at night, or I practice with the high school team. So I'm catching live bullpens and seeing live pitching. And
that's a cool picture.
All I know is when they ring that bell, I'm going to be ready.
That's pretty cool, man.
Boomer, and what he's talking about and what Danny's talking about, it's just so completely different than anything you've been around, where, he's talking about conversations on the bus and
it's wonderful. Hey, being up in the big leagues, and when we go down to fantasy camp, when you got a guy like Jesse Barfield, and when you got Doc Gooden, when you got Darryl Strawberry, we got Mickey Rivers, we got Mike Torres, we got Nelly, Jeff Nelson, Tanyan Sturts, and you have Bucky Dent. You have all those people. We talk, hey, we could talk some stuff as well as anybody. Believe me, they didn't call us the Bronx Zoo for nothing, to be honest with you. We're a crazy bunch of guys. It was fun. People don't realize that we started when we were kids. I don't know about y'all, living down the South, and I know, Jeremy, you're from Louisiana, right? I'm
Yes,
from
sir.
Atlanta, okay? And back then, it was the KKK, and it was the John Birch Society. It wasn't good. We're a major minority, and you tell your parents or you tell your relatives you want to be a Major League Baseball player. They look at you like you're crazy. You do two things: you become a doctor, or you work with your parents. That's two things that you did, okay? Because my parents had nothing, okay? So realistically, people don't realize when you start in Little League and work your way up to high school, to college, if you play college, up through the minor leagues, up through the big leagues, it's a short, people don't realize how short a time that is, because your life starts early, but it ends early too. Unfortunately, myself, I had to end early. Jeremy, you ended early also because your arm. Danny had a great career. Ryan, you had a great career. You up in the big leagues, okay? And, you know, I mean, we had to, you know, and all of y'all still in baseball, but myself, I had to get out early because it was nothing else to do. So y'all are very, very, you know, and I tell people all the time, we're very lucky to be able to do what we did. And we did it. And you'll find out that baseball is a small fraternity. And it's a major small fraternity. And you'll find out these days are the best days of your life. Believe me. And when Eric went down to Yankee fantasy camp, and he was the biggest Yankee fan in the world, he was down there, he was hitting home runs. He was a stud down there. And then we played in 2007. He didn't tell you about the home run he hit. Did you tell him about the home run you hit in professional baseball?
I did not.
You did, but before we leave tonight, you got to tell him. And you hit a hanging slider, just like Bucky did hit a hanging slider, and Jimmy Lyricks hit a hanging slider. And that's why, you know, but no.
Is there video? Is there video evidence of this?
I know, but I saw him hit it.
Actually is, but I
saw you hit it.
There actually is.
He hit it. Cue
it up. Let's see it. Cue it up. Cue the
tape. He hit it. It was Kibbutz Gezer, and they had 4 lights. They had 4 light poles, and they had probably 3 flashlights in each light poles. And
180-foot fence.
I'm gonna tell you.
Wait a second. It probably was 180-foot fence.
Home run derby.
How far was that fence?
All right, I'm gonna tell you a true story. This was the toughest part about being a player coach. I was literally a player coach at this point. Ron was back in the States, so I'm playing third base and coaching, and I wasn't going well. I wasn't hitting well for a few days, and we're in a tie game. And I'm playing third thinking about who I'm going to hit for me in the last inning to give us a chance to win the game. And I'm looking up and down the bench in between pitches, and I just can't figure out who I want in there. And it gets to the bottom of the 7th. Now the game's in Israel. If they ended in a tie, went to a home run derby to decide the game. And they brought in this guy throwing maybe 88 to 90. And guys that have seen me play know I'm pretty much a dead pull guy. And I hit the ball over the right center field fence to walk off and win the game. And that's the one home run I hit that summer. And everybody's going, Holtz, man, way to go, Oppo. And I just went, guys, I didn't go, Oppo. I was just late.
Hey, wait, tell them. The fence, tell them they moved the fence in like 100 feet.
Yeah.
It was probably about 175 feet down.
Just for me.
But you did.
But my favorite story, my favorite Israel story, Ron, not to embarrass you, because this is fun. Do you remember the lineup I handed you for the championship game?
I had no idea any of the names. Yeah, you put big guy, big guy, big guy, big guy. I don't remember names. The easiest thing to do is to call people big guy because you can't go wrong. And, you know, I forget names. Now I can't even see now. So I can't even see y'all because now I got to call y'all big guys.
So he goes out to home plate to have the manager's meeting with Art Shamsky and the umpire. And the lineup card I gave him has batting 1st through 9th, big guy, and pitching, big guy. And he didn't even take a look at it to see it. He just handed it into the umpire.
No, let me tell you something. It was just, you know what? Did y'all play in Tel Aviv? Did y'all play at Baptist Park?
Yeah, we played at the Baptist Village.
Oh, y'all did play there.
Well,
did y'all live actually?
Play there.
We had a practice there, didn't we, Varney? Isn't that where we practiced?
Where did y'all play in Tel Aviv?
Moved the fence back from when Holtz was there.
Yeah, they doubled it up.
That was pretty far back anyway. I
There's
mean,
still
that
only
was.
4 lights though.
I don't know how far I went back. I couldn't see.
Oh, you should have
It
been.
wasn't
to
lit up
Kibutz
enough.
Desert. Only thing
All
they
I
had in
saw was
Kibutz Desert.
darkness.
Hey, Eric. As soon as you got into Kibutz Desert, they had the biggest sunflowers, didn't they?
Yeah. It was
Remember
kind of
those sunflowers
it
or
was-
the biggest people.
It was beautiful. It was. Oh, there we go. It was like Field of Dreams, but with.
Is this from the commercial?
Yeah, it is.
Oh wow. What was it for again?
My labrum,
Oh yeah.
They play this nonstop on the Yes Network.
dude. It was brutal.
Why was it brutal?
Because you're falling asleep at night watching the Yankee game, and as you're like starting to nod off, you'd hear yourself on TV. It was creepy after.
No, you're not. Hey, that's part of your life, the guy that made you excited. That got you going.
Yeah, meeting Mike and Paul, that was a fun time, and having my wife for 30 years with me, nonstop by my side is one of the highlights of my life.
Let me see. You couldn't find any nicer guys than Michael and Paulie. They're great people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hey, one more thing before I even forget. You played in Elizabethton, right, Danny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew. Hey, I played in Johnson City, Tennessee, and my
Okay.
wife's from Elizabethton, Tennessee.
Wow.
Yeah, she in that little field down with the Twins down like that bottom of that hill, and you went up, and the town is like about at night. It's no place to eat. You have to eat at like McDonald's. That's the only place to eat there.
Let me tell you something. That was a grind, but looking back at it, you know how it is in that grind in the minor league. Some of my best stories come from places like that. I was
Best.
living in Elizabethton, Tennessee, in a trailer park, in a 2-bedroom trailer with a woman. Her name was Mary, and her daughter. She had the other bedroom,
Yeah.
and 4 of us. Me sleeping on an air mattress in the living room. A catcher from the University of Nebraska named Jeff Christie sleeping by the front door on another air mattress, and 2 Dominican players sharing a bed.
Yeah. People think when we played, I mean, we made $500. In 73, I hit 339. No, I'm sorry, 329. They gave me a $500 raise.
Did they
Okay.
throw sliders back then, or did that come out later?
Do what now?
Did they throw sliders back then?
Oh God, I mean, hey, yeah, they threw sliders. Yeah. What do you think? We're like having a double day?
The polo grounds, right?
Hey, I eaten some sliders, I mean,
Or maybe they just threw fastballs. I don't know.
but let me tell you something. Hey, when you played, when we played, I hit 329 in 73. They gave me a $500 raise. And next year I hit 311. They took my $500 back. And then next year I hit 301. They wouldn't even talk about a raise to me. And every time I go back to the stadium, they still owe me mill money. And I mean, hey, it wasn't easy. And I know y'all played in Johnson City at the Cardinal. Was it Cardinals or the Yankees when you played there?
It was the Cardinals, and we were playing on the campus of East Tennessee State University.
Oh, you see, okay, fine. So y'all didn't play in the baseball field in Johnson City then, in the minor league park.
Johnson City. No, it wasn't a minor
Yeah,
league.
it's right next to you. It's about 8 miles away.
We were playing at the college stadium.
You played at the Coliseum, but I just wanted to throw that out at you. But I was going to ask Jeremy, does he like crawfish? But being Jewish, I don't know if I should say, do you like crawfish? And gator. Every time Guidry comes up to the Yogi Berra golf tournament, he always brings his 3-pound frog legs.
Tastes like chicken. Just a little tougher than chicken.
Oh yeah, he goes gigging, and those things is this big.
That's right.
I mean, they look like a full chicken.
Hey, Boomer,
Huh?
Boomer, tell them about you trying to get a brisket in Israel.
Oh no! Hey, first thing I asked them, I went to the Stage Deli. First thing I did, playing in New York, there's all delis, and being Jewish, you go in there and it's wonderful. Okay, so I had the Stage Deli. I don't know, it's next to the Carnegie.
Yeah.
It's a big place. Okay, so I had them. It's already worked out to have them send out like 100 pounds of brisket, corned beef, half coleslaw, half sours, and every mustard, knishes, everything. But I found out later when I got over to Tel Aviv that they couldn't do it because it wasn't kosher. So it really messed me up. So the first place we ate, didn't we go to Mike's? We ate at a place in right in Tel Aviv. First thing I said, I wanted corned beef, and they looked at me like I'm crazy. And I said, give me some matzo ball soup. They thought it was nuts. You know, who go to Israel and not eat matzo ball soup and bagels and corned beef and cabbage and all that stuff.
So we had a pretty decent following in Bet Shemesh with our fans. And this really, really wonderful woman kept bringing her kids to the game. And after the games, they try and talk to Ron, and Ron said, hey, where can I get a brisket? This woman had no idea what he was talking about. And every game he'd ask her for a brisket. This woman drove around the entire country. She found a brisket. So the game's over. We win the game. The woman can't wait to present Ron Blomberg with the one brisket she found in Israel. Ron hands me the Tupperware. He goes, it's probably effing squirrel. You take it home.
You ate it, didn't you?
No, I didn't eat it.
Hey, but you had the worst place to live in Israel. I mean, that was the worst of the worst.
It wasn't good. It wasn't.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Hey, you're going to find out once you not become my age or whatever. A few years from now, you're going to look back at this, and you're going to say, it's the greatest years of your life. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's another chapter in your life. And, you know, it's really hard to understand that you've been playing sports your whole life and somebody tells you can't play anymore. It is very difficult to adjust to that. And, you know, when you get injured, like I think, Jeremy, you're the only one that really got injured, right? Ryan and Danny, you didn't get injured, did you? Not that much. But, no. You know, I mean, but see, I had Dr. Job and Dr. Curlin cut on me in California. You had who, Andrews?
Yeah, Dr. Andrews. Dr. Andrews, yep.
Okay, but once you are under and they tell you that it's a good chance you're not going to play anymore, and when you're 28, 29 years old and right in your prime, it's not easy. People don't understand how hard it is to adjust and to be able to play from the minor leagues up to the big leagues. And people don't realize 2, 3, 4% of the people in the minor leagues make the big leagues. And these guys are people that reach their goals. And, you know, and they still got goals and they still in baseball. And, you know, I wish I was involved. I wish I was as young as Eric. And, you know, you look as good as you are, big guy. But, you know, it's been fun. It's really been fun. And being Jewish and be able to and having all these Jewish fans and you know, and you know, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, it's really, you know, you hold something. You really are honored. I am just to talk to you and to be able to watch your careers, because you got a few more years to play. So it's going to be fun to watch y'all and to watch Eric win the gold medal and to bring it home. And we're going to have a whole big thing in the city. We'll be throwing pastrami and corned beef, and we're having a good time, big guy.
Ronnie, one thing I really just wanted to share, I wanted to go back a little bit and get serious for a second, was if people have never seen what European baseball is like, when we played in Germany, you know, it was unlike anything I had ever been involved with, where literally there was music blasting the entire game, during pitches, during plays. You know, the German crowd was crazy. And, you know, one of the probably proudest moments and, you know, something that transcended baseball that day was looking around at all of the players and all of my coaching staff wearing Israel's flag on our uniforms in a country where we could not have even been without being killed 70, 80 years ago. And not only with the opportunity to compete, but beating Germany in Germany was probably one of the biggest moments for me. I know I thought a lot about my family and my relationships with cousins in Israel and my parents and my grandparents. And, you know, I'm not a big memorabilia guy, but the only baseball that I kept personally is the final score of the Germany game in Germany. And, you know, having an opportunity to, you know, listen to Hatikva being played.
That's wonderful.
In Germany gave me just chills that night and you know, almost tears to you know, just to be able to be there, you know, to be able to be there and to be able to compete. And for me, as you know, Ronnie, I'm not a religious guy at all by any stretch, but history is what it is. And having the opportunity to go there and represent our people and come out victorious. I mean, for me, I think that's one of the biggest memories that I will take forward for the rest of my life.
Remember, we had the national anthem at opening day, and everybody took off their hat. Everybody, and then I think Peter Kurtz or Martin, they came up. No, you got to put your hat on. We said, no, you got to take your hat. You know, I mean, you got to, you know, present yourself like the national anthem. Right. But we didn't know that you have to keep your hat on. And look at all the players here with the yarmulkes. I mean, it's wonderful. It's something that, you know, I mean, I would never even, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, it's, you know, it gives you chills just to see that. I mean, you know, I mean, I'm not religious. I'm religious where I go to Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and, you know, being an athlete, you know, you cannot keep kosher, and I wouldn't keep kosher because it's a lot of stuff that I don't like, you know, I mean, but anyway, but you have that, but you have it inside of you. You have something, you being proud because somebody tells you can't do it. And for an athlete, you don't ever tell an athlete you can't do that, because a good athlete, even if he doesn't have much ability, he's going to try everything to go out and compete. And, you know, and whoever thought, like you said before, whoever thought being down, you know, he's from Louisiana, and I don't know how long he stayed in Louisiana, but being from Georgia, and, you know, Georgia, I mean, you have Lester Maddox, who's a governor, and then you have George Wallace, who's a governor down in Alabama, and then you go to South Carolina, it's welcome to Klan country. And half my teammates, when I was growing up, were in the Klan. You know, on Friday nights, they did their cross burnings. They did their cross burnings. They did.
I had a teammate ask me, asked our trainer one of my first years in pro ball. He asked, Bleich is Jewish? He said, yeah. He goes, he doesn't have horns.
That's correct. You know, absolutely. You know,
and then another teammate asked our trainer, one of my Latin teammates asked our trainer also if I was Jewish, and they confirmed it. And he said, well, why isn't he fighting wars? Why is he here? Why isn't he in Israel fighting wars?
Something that didn't get touched on here, and I think it's important. Yes, we're having a great time, and it's awesome. We're playing baseball and all that, and it's fantastic winning and doing well. But people don't realize when you go abroad with an Israel jersey what that means. We go through tons of security all the time. Our days are at least an hour and a half longer. Every single one of our rooms gets swept with a bomb sniffing dog. There's a lot of things, you know, there's still a lot of anti-Semitism out there. You know, you still get weird looks from the crowd. You know, when Eric was describing our game against Germany, I remember being on deck and a guy sitting down and asking his buddy, he was late to the game, what's the score? And he said, the Jews are winning, you know, just like it rolls off the tongue, just like
correct. That. You hear it right off the bat.
That's something that also fuels our team to go out there and win, because like you said, you know, you tell athletes no, and they want to go prove, but you kind of like talk shit to us or fire us up. It puts a little bit more fire. It sparks a little bit more fire. I know with me it does, and I think that translates to the whole team when I'm definitely fired up. But those things can't get unnoticed. You know, it's not all peaches and cream out there.
Oh yeah, you play in the minor leagues. You play in the minor leagues in these really, really small little towns like Bluefield, West Virginia that you played. You played in Princeton. You played in Wistful. You play in these little towns. They have no idea what a Jew is. No idea what a Jew is. right off the bat, somebody say, that he's a Jew guy. He's you hear somebody in behind you, on deck, and they said, this guy's a kite. This guy, he has horns, and you hear these things, and I heard it my whole life. I grew up with that, and a lot of y'all probably did not grow up as much as I did down south. I saw all that stuff. I saw all the marching by the KKKs. I saw all the pamphlets that they gave to the merchants down on Peachtree Street down in Atlanta. I saw all that. I saw on Friday nights they do their cross burnings, or they had their hoods and they had their robes on. I saw all that after a ball game. You never see anything. And 3 houses away from me was a Grand Dragon. But I was pretty lucky that I was a fairly decent athlete, and I brought a lot of scouts, and they're not going to bother me, and they're not going to bother my parents. But you still see that, and you still.
And for Ron, the other thing for us too, and Danny and Jeremy can attest to this. Varney's been there as well, but one of our goals, and especially these guys, is to impress this upon the next generation of baseball players in Israel, and to see that Jewish people can be athletes and Jewish people can compete, and we can do this. And Danny, we ran a clinic in Israel last year before COVID, and each guy had a station to run. And all of a sudden I look over at Valencia, I go, what's he doing? Like there are just a whole bunch of guys like gathered around Valencia. Well, Valencia gets Manny Machado on the phone, FaceTiming him. You had to see these little kids in Israel light up. They just lit up. And our goal, my goal, because you were there at the beginning, Ron, in 2007, it's now 2021, is I want the next generation in Israel to say, I want to be Ryan Lavarnway. I want to be Danny Valencia and Jeremy Bleich. We can do this. Look what it took, but you know what? Why not us? And the further we get and the more successful we are doing this, I think the future in Israel for baseball will be that much brighter.
Eventually Israel is going to, Israel, of course, is noted for their soccer and their basketball. But if we would have stayed, I think if we would have stayed in Israel and that league would have lasted, I think they would have put some money up towards some baseball fields. Don't you, Eric? They would have done something, and there would have been some baseball fields.
I do, but it's still a struggle, Ron. I
know that. I know.
Struggle because there's no Kraft. Kraft built a football stadium in Israel.
Yeah.
We need someone. We need an owner of an MLB team to step up and say, hey, you know what? We want to plant roots in Israel and help build the game. And we're still kind of waiting for that to happen.
Jeremy, call Steve Levin up. Call Steve Levin with the Mets. I mean, hey, he would. I think he would love something like that. I just see him doing something. He wants to get his name out, and he's doing everything he can for the Mets. But no,
my goal is after the Olympics is going back to Israel after that and just being able to walk into a grocery store and like seeing Danny Valencia's face on like a falafel box or something like that. Nothing would make me happier.
Oh.
What's the Israeli version of Wheaties?
Oh, Wheaties. Oh, well, that'd be fun. But no, it's you know what? It's
hey, Ron, one thing we didn't talk about yet is when you're abroad and you're playing in these international tournaments and you have Israel across your chest. To me, that was the first, like the most that I've ever felt Jewish, the most proud of my heritage that I've ever felt. And I think representing it around the world is what really helped me find my own Jewish identity. And I know a lot of other guys kind of felt the same way.
Oh, I think it's great. Even when we wore the base, when we're in Israel and we had the Bet Shemesh a jersey on and the Bet Shemesh hat. We're not we're there, but we're playing against ourselves. But it would have been just incredible to go to Germany or go to Russia or go to one of those countries and you wear the Israel and you got your high on and you're just so proud. And this is what your parents always wanted you to, a proud Jew. And, of course, probably your grandparents are not really, they might be living, but your grandparents, Holocaust and they never would think that my grandson is going to be playing baseball for Israel, for the Israel team. That's wonderful. That's, that's the greatest of greats.
Danny, thanks for coming. Danny's got to get going. So
okay, Danny.
Appreciate
thank you.
it.
Danny, I love you, big guy. Anything that you need, we'll send you some squirrel and we'll make sure everything is fine. And we'll just send it down to Florida, wherever you are. And instead of going to Joe Stonecraft, we'll send you some squirrel. Okay.
Take care, guys. Good to see you guys.
Be good, DV.
Bye, guys.
See you later, Dan.
Yeah, I feel like the screen is much better balanced now without Danny here anyway.
But it's wonderful to, you got Jeremy and you got Ryan and, how many years you got in, Ryan? About 10?
9 seasons.
You got 9 seasons. Okay, you get your 10 years and you get your card. You could go to any ballpark you want to. And then you are 100% vested in your pension. So it's all good. It's all good. I mean, it's a wonderful life. It's the best life in the world. I think about it so many times. It's Jeremy. I mean,
Ronnie, these guys are so much better prepared for life than you and I are. I mean, Jeremy is a Stanford grad. Ryan's a Yale grad. I mean, life after baseball for these young men isn't going to be a struggle. They're going to figure their way. And like I said, for me, it's just one of the things that makes me, really, really most proud. Like I said, I truly tell you, my job's to stay out of their way, but nothing makes me happier than they getting a text from Bleich or me sending him something like really totally inappropriate that I know most managers don't send their players, and the relationships that we've built. It's really just been, a family, one big family, and there's no egos on this team, and everybody really, really just wants what is best and what is best for the whole and the group. And I'm telling you, man, this was sitting there in 2016 with Peter Kurz. This was literally the Jamaican bobsled story. Nobody gave us a shot. Ryan led the way with Jeremy in the WBC. And then all of a sudden, we got players that wanted to really represent Israel. And here we are. I mean, we're less than 6 months away from walking into Tokyo and
Eric,
competing with the best teams in the world.
Sorry to cut you off, but Ryan's about to go, but I did want to mention something that in 2019, he did something that no red catcher had done in like 30, 40 years since Johnny Bench.
And what was that? 2 home runs and 6 RBIs in a game?
Plus a lot
His
of total
first game.
bases. Yeah. All right, go enjoy
Somebody
dinner.
get that man a job.
Hey, congratulations. These guys are going to be the owners of teams. They're going to be the Mark Cubans of baseball.
Thanks for having me, Ron. I got to head out.
Hey, Ryan, I wish you the best of luck, big guy.
Thank
All
you.
the luck to you. And we love you, big guy. Be safe. You had a great year. Thank you very much for doing
Thanks,
this.
guys. I'll see you next time.
My hero.
All right, Barney.
Bye, guys.
And then we're going to talk about Rick Eggleston. We're going to talk about Ricky.
Bleich, look at you in that picture, dude. Look how thin you are, man.
I know.
You signed with the Yankees. What year was that?
2008.
2008. And who was your first? You didn't go to small ball in Johnson City, did you?
No, I played in Staten Island, actually.
Oh, for Jane Rogers, right?
Yep.
You played with Jane. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, she had breast cancer. Did you know that?
I did not know
She
that.
had breast cancer, and she's doing real well now. And
I'm
it was
glad to
like,
hear that. She's a very nice lady.
oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lady. And, you know, we used to, and, you know, there's no baseball in Staten Island now. Did you know that?
I heard. Yeah, I heard
It's in
that.
Trenton now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but they're also moving up near me, Boom. They're going up to
Rockland?
no, the old Hudson Valley where the Rays were.
Oh, no. Is that a nice park?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Dutch Estate.
Renegades.
Yeah,
Renegade.
don't tell me they're going to Muncie. No, they're not going to go to Muncie.
Well, I tell you what.
No, don't tell me that.
No, Team Israel is going to be training in Rockland at Boulder Stadium come July, and that's probably about 10 minutes from Muncie.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, can you speak Hebrew?
No, I can read it, but I
You can read it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
I don't really understand it.
You ever have an opportunity? Well, you know Muncie, don't you?
Yes, of course.
You know Muncie. You know, if you go up there, you can read it, but you don't going to understand it because that whole.
I need the vowels. That's the problem.
Oh yeah.
I can't do without the vowels.
Ronnie, I can barely speak English, so I got no shot with that.
But you know what? The best manager. Hey, I would tell you right now, I have had a lot of managers, and I got to say one thing. I'm really going to say that you're one of the finest guys that knew baseball and to relate to all the guys. And Jeremy is going to give you some crap, okay? But let me tell you something. You do relate to the guys, and you really do. And, you know, we had guys from Canada, from Germany to Mexico. We had guys from Puerto Rico. We had them from all over the place. And you got two from Israel, right? We had two from Israel, I believe. And you got along well with everybody. And you know what? You're the best, big guy. You know,
Thank you,
your
Ron.
family. Hey, your family's wonderful. I'm so proud of you and what you've done. And Michael K talks about you. I had Michael K on about 7 weeks ago, and he loves you, big guy. And hey, you're a favorite in New York now.
I appreciate it. I mean, listen, following in your footsteps, those are not easy shoes to fill.
No. Hey, I did something what I wanted to do. I played baseball, and that's all I wanted to do. Jeremy, that's all I wanted to do, big guy, was just to play baseball. And I had an opportunity to play in the greatest city in the world, in New York. And I know it's tough right now, how it is right now. And I hope they get back square one where baseball is going to open up on time. I know Rick is leaving to go down to spring training on Thursday. I think he's staying at the hotel, I think. And so I hope y'all make it through. And I think y'all will.
Ron, sorry, before you say goodnight, because I know we're running out of time, we actually tried to get Mindy and Randy Levine on the show tonight. Didn't quite work out, snow, etc., schedules. They apologize for not being able to make it, and they wish Team Israel the best for the Olympics. That was from
Thank you.
Mindy
Awesome.
and Randy Levine.
Awesome.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
I don't think Ron knows he's.
Ron, you're muted, Ron. Who muted Ron?
Real quick, Eric, I'm going to call you in about a week, and I want to talk to you. I love you, big guy. Tell your family I love them.
All right.
And you're a wonderful big guy. I'm so proud of you. Jeremy, I'm very proud. Tell Rick I said hello. And tell Derek I said hello.
I will for sure. He told me to send you his best. I actually texted him, and he said to send his love. So
okay, who did this? Who, Rick or
no, Shelty, Derek Shelty.
Okay,
yeah.
I know that Charlie Hayes said his son is that good. Is his son that good?
He's probably one of the top. we'll see what happens at offensive. He's one of the top 3 defenders in the game right now at third base. He's
Okay, that's what I heard.
he's unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Charlie
unbelievable.
said he's a good, and he's a good kid too.
Yeah, he's a great kid. He's a
Yeah,
great
I
kid.
love y'all, big guy.
All right,
Eric,
thank you,
talk to you
Lenny.
soon.
Thanks. Good to
Jeremy,
see
I'll
you.
talk to you soon.
Gentlemen, thank you for having
Take
us.
care.
Love y'all. Y'all did wonderful. Y'all did great.
Thank you.
Love
Thank
y'all.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, y'all.
What a great show.
Yeah, well,
Eric, thank you so much for doing this for us.
No, it was a pleasure. Are we no longer live?
No, we're still
We're
live.
still live.
Live. Okay.
Joe and I usually just talk about who's next week. And then
Oh,
we-
okay. But all was good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
this was
it's great.
excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you for
every-
arranging to get the rest of the guys, and this was awesome.
I wanted to hear her talk. I was at the World Baseball Qualifiers in Brooklyn in 2016. I was there. That's where some of my pictures came from.
Gotcha.
But,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, well, listen, down the road, we could do it again and, maybe either before or after the Olympics. And, maybe you could even set up a Q&A where people can, send in questions if you want the guys to answer them. So
With our host, it's hard to get questions in from the audience.
that is true. So I warned the guys, I go, listen, I've known Ronnie about 20 years. He's got the attention span of a gnat, and I don't know where the fuck this is going to go. Let's just have fun. And so I tried to warn him a little bit.
We got a call from Steve Cohen of the Mets. He wants to know why Bloomberg called him Levin.
Oh, gentlemen, have a great night.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Eric.
All right,
Thank
be
you.
well.
Joe,
Yes.
next week?
Oh, wow. Next week. I can't wait. Another twist in our game plan here. We have 2 very different outspoken people from New York. Well, one is, you might remember him from the 80s, right?
Who, Nelson Figueroa?
70? Well, no,
No. He was-
Curtis. We're having Curtis Lewa.
We're having WABC radio host and founder of the Guardian Angels, Curtis Sliwa. Go ahead.
And Mr. Met, Nelson Figueroa.
So it should be some very interesting Met talk next week. So that'll be Ron with his guests, Nelson Figueroa and Curtis Sliwa. And
Call this a wrap.
good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.